What's up, guys? I'm Tim Bowman, real estate agent here in Cincinnati, Ohio, leader of the Tim Bowman team with Key Realty, and today we're talking about part 4 of the 8-step home buying process, which is making an offer. This is one of the most important parts of the home buying process because you need to get your offer accepted, of course, and there are a lot of things that go into an offer, not just the amount of money that you're going to be paying for the home. Now, that is the most important part to you, of course, but that's not the only thing that would make somebody who is selling their home want to sell it to you. So let's talk about some different parts of that contract, that offer you're going to have to be filling out whenever you make your offer, and let's see how we can make it more attractive to the seller so that you can get your offer accepted and get on to step 5, which is under contract, right? So here we've got obviously let's just go through this contract together. The amount of money, is super important, right? It's extremely important. It's just not the only thing that's important on the contract. So don't let me downplay it. A lot of times right now we're seeing people that are posting their house for sale with an agent or for sale by owner, and obviously everybody wants to get the most out of their house. But what they're doing is they'll go out and run some comps, get an idea of what the home might be worth, and they'll price it slightly below what they believe it might be worth in order to make it look like a good deal. I mean, all department stores do that, right? They put a big red tag on something and say, get this for a little bit less than what it might be worth. Come out, we got a big sale going on. It's just about attracting a buyer. So they want to get as many people into their home as they can, or to look at their home on their cell phone, on the internet, as they can, so that they can get as much interest in their home as they can to get the most money out of their home that they can, right? So price is important, but keep in mind, there's a lot of talk going on. Wow, that home sold for $50,000 more than what it was worth. Be careful. Did it sell for more than what it was worth, or did it just sell for $50,000 more than what they were asking for it? There's a big difference there. So lean on your real estate agent. They should be running comps and advising you on what the home may be worth. An appraiser is somebody who's going to go out and look at a home, and they're going to make sure, they work for the bank, make sure that the home is worth what you're willing to pay for it or what you offered for it. And it's just their opinion of what the home is worth, which it's also your real estate agent's opinion. It's your opinion. It's the seller's. It's everybody's opinion. Something is only worth what another person is willing to pay for it. And that's just the way real estate is. So the amount of money, make sure that you do your due diligence, do your research, and look up what the comps may be worth and make your decision on what you're willing to pay for that property, okay? Earnest money. Earnest money is part 2. Earnest money is just, I'm serious money. Now, this is fairly simple. It's cash that you're going to put up, and a third person's going to hold it. Usually the broker for the buying agent is going to be the one you're going to deposit it with. They'll hold on to the earnest money while you're in contract, and if you close on the deal, that money goes toward the money you offered to pay for the house. That's not a big deal. It's not extra money. It's just money that you're going to pay up front toward the purchase price that you offered to pay. Now, if at any point during negotiations you and the seller don't come into an agreement and you guys can't agree on continuing to the purchase of the home, one or the other person is going to have to keep that earnest money. Hopefully you get yours back, but remember, it's I'm serious money. So if you're backing out of the deal, the offer that you made for a reason that's not valid here in this contract, then you may have to give up and forfeit your earnest money. So people, they take earnest money pretty seriously. If I said I'm going to be willing to forfeit if I back out of the deal for no good reason, or no reason that's in the contract, then they get to keep your money, then that could be some serious influence for them to think that you're serious, right? So high earnest money is a great way to get people to accept your offer. Down payment money, you know, if you're getting a loan on a house and you're putting a lot of money down, that really just shows that you're a financially secure person. Maybe a little road bump or an obstacle that may just a little speed bump for you because you're financially stable and you've been saving and you have enough money to really steamroll right over that issue. Let's just say, I don't know, old carpet. And you decide, I'll replace it. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to haggle over, a couple $1,000 worth of carpet. Where another person who's not as financially stable might say, I don't have the money to replace the carpet, and I'm not living in this house with that old carpet. Something small like that. That's just an example that came to mind. So down payment money can be an influencer, even though they don't get it, but they can kind of tell off of how much you're putting down, of how stable of a buyer you are and how secure financially you may be. All of this contract can really tell a story, and that's what the seller is looking for, is painting the picture of what kind of buyer you are. So loan type is another one of those things. Again, it can affect some of the requirements that you may have to meet when you're purchasing the home, or they might have to meet if they're going to sell the home to you. some of these things are out of your control. Some of these things may be based upon credit score or amount of money that you have to put down, but they all tell a story. And what we as real estate agents are doing is just playing matchmaker. We're trying to find a person who wants to sell a home and match them up with the best person that wants to buy that home and see if we can make them agree on a price and all these other things. So loan type, FHA, we know that through talking about pre-approval, sometimes people have to go FHA, and maybe a seller doesn't want to have to deal with the requirements that come along with selling their house to an FHA buyer. So that can be an influence. Do you need to sell a home? That's another good one. Do you need to sell your home before you can close on this one that you're buying? Do you already own one? That could be an influence. What if something goes wrong with your home sale that you're selling while you're trying to buy your next home, and that home contract that you're in to buy gets affected because something happened with your deal over here? So that could be a big influence if they accept your offer or not. Maybe there's someone who doesn't have to sell a home in order to buy this home. Contingencies. So contingencies are just that. It's just, hey, we need to meet these contingencies or these requirements in order to come to an agreement. Maybe your contingency is that you want them to replace the roof. Maybe you want them to give you a home warranty. Maybe you want them to pay for your title insurance. You can put tons of different examples in the contingencies box, but no contingencies just means I'll take it the way that it is. I'm not going to ask you for a bunch of extra things. I'm not going to ask you to do a bunch of extra things or pay for a bunch of extra things. And no contingencies is obviously the best offer, but is it always the smartest? Probably not. You just got to do what's best for you and your family. So the deadline response time is another one here. How long are you giving them to respond? Because once your offer expires, it's just that, it's expired. They can't accept it. They actually have to go back and ask you if it's still good, if you're still willing to offer that same offer or extend that offer so that they can offer that. If they counter the offer and say, we love everything that you offered, we just simply want you to change one tiny little thing, well, your offer is now void. Their offer is the new offer, and you have to accept their counter. So timing is important in this, right? If you give them a week to think on it, they might have an extra week to receive a better offer. If you give them a couple hours to think on it, then maybe they feel the time crunch, they're not comfortable, and they just can't make that big of a decision that quickly, and your offer expires. So it's more of an art, not a science, okay? Relationships among the agents is another one I wanted to talk about. If you're working with a good agent, they've got a good reputation in the market, and they've worked with the other agent who's helping the seller sell the home before, that could play a big part in your offer. And I know that it shouldn't. However, imagine doing business with somebody that made it really difficult to do business with, and you got an opportunity to do business with them again. Are you going to be that excited to work with that person again? Same thing with us agents. We are human. And, when we see an offer come across the table, of course we do our job, we present it, and we follow all the laws, but are we excited that that offer came from that one agent we had that bad experience with? Absolutely not. We're human. So do you think that we're going to be extremely excited to present that offer? Of course not. Are we going to present it? Absolutely we are, because it's the law and we're going to do our job the right way. However, picking your agent back in step one, that's a big part of that, is the relationship. What kind of reputation do they have amongst their peers, amongst the other realtors? Are they known? Have they done business before? Have they done good business before? Made it easy to do business with themselves amongst their peers? And is an agent going to be excited that your offer is coming from your buying agent, the agent representing you? Hopefully they are. And with that being said, let me give you guys an example. Deadlines. We talked about deadlines. I was able to help a family purchase a home back in the summer, and we got the home $50,000 more than the asking price, but we're well aware that it was significantly less than the highest offer. And one of the best parts about that, and the reason that we were able to get this house and get our offer accepted, and they did close on that home, they did move into that home, and I was able to help them sell their previous home, was because, and this is a people business. And I got to talk with that real estate agent, and just in talking and said, hey, my name's Tim Bowman. I'm a real estate agent here in Cincinnati. We haven't worked together before. I have clients. We're interested in this home. We're going to go look at it. We're going to make an offer. And in talking with this agent, I just simply asked the question, what do I need to know that your sellers, what's important to your sellers before we write this offer? And she shared with me. She said, well, it's kind of unique, but the family that's selling the home is being relocated because of the husband's job. And the wife made a promise to her teenage daughter that if if it was possible, who was graduating high school, by the way, the teenage daughter was graduating high school, and the mom said, if it's possible, we'll have your graduation party here locally before we have to move away for Dad's job. If there's anything I can do, I promise I'll do that for you. Well, guess what? When I found that out, I let my buyer know, hey, if you're willing to wait 2 months before having to close on this house, I bet you that'd be a big advantage for us. And it was. It played out very well in our favor. Like I said, we already closed on the home. They've moved in. They're enjoying that house. But they waited 2 months because they didn't have to sell. Excuse me. My buyers were going to sell their current home, but they didn't have to sell their current home. They were moving because they wanted to, not because they needed to. The situation was perfect and the stars aligned, and they said, in our offer, hey, we'll give you until 60 days from now before we have to close on this home. And I can tell you with 100% assurance that we were not the highest offer, and they chose our offer because the mom wanted to keep a promise that she made to her teenage daughter about having a graduation party with her high school classmates before they were moving away, very far away, by the way, for Dad's job. And that is the business. That is just having a good agent who understands and is looking for and asking the right questions before they advise you on what kind of offer you should make. It wasn't the money. It wasn't the earnest money. It wasn't contingencies. It wasn't a lot of this offer. It was literally the mom keeping a promise to her daughter. So it's those things. Just remember, when you go through this is a people business. We're in this to help each other. Everybody wants to get to the closing table, and everybody wants to feel like they've won. You want to feel like you got a good deal. The sellers want to feel like they got a good price for their home. Everybody wants to move on happy and feel like that was a great experience. So make sure that when you're writing your offer, you just remember this is a people business. And if you need anything, reach out to us here. We're, like I said, licensed in Ohio at the moment. Our team is awesome, and if there's anything we can do to help you, reach out to us. We'd be happy to advise you. And good luck on your home buying experience. Go out there and get your offer accepted. See you.